Guys, welcome back to another episode of Unmotivated. We have Q's wife. We've got my guy, co-host Maul. We've got man's best friend in the house. Go ahead and tell him your name, what you do. And clearly he said, hey, the wife you want to come see the setup too. I said, yeah, bring her, bro.
I'm going to make a distinction. She's not my wife. I'm her husband. Just make the distinction. I'm her husband.
There you go. There you have it. So tell us a little bit about what you do, and we'll get into some topics here.
Yeah, my name is Kendra, Q's wife, as we've...
I'm your husband.
You're my husband. Right now, I'm in the functional medicine space.
Okay.
So I work at a functional medicine office. We do diet, we do lifestyle, chiropractic, soft tissue, and I do a little bit more of the fitness side. And I bring in like the healing side as well, kind of rounding out the full circle of the human experience, I would say.
Okay. And the dog thing, now he told me you was like, yo, y'all dog people, to be clear. Y'all got to come over early next time. Y'all won't spend that much time with the dogs.
I like dogs.
Look, I can see,
I love dogs.
They
That's
forget their whole thought when a dog come out.
Yes.
I mean, dude's like, got moved from Cali and he said something about dog and he just never got back to that thought. But you've lived and hung out in the dog space. We was talking about ex bullies and the challenges and issues. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I wanted to come over here and meet all the dogs. So that's what brought me. But I also just enjoy listening to Black men be in a room and just heal each other. So
Yeah.
I was like, being a spectator of that was the selling point, and I pet a dog at the same time. We're winning.
Well, see, and get this, I don't know that any of us thought anybody would be healing until we kind of, like, mind you, guys, I didn't send Q a topic. I didn't send him no subject matter. I said, yo, my man, I need you to come be on our podcast. Yep. And if you've ever met me, I that's exactly how I just walk. Hey, man, I need you to do such and such. Jamarcus has been with me. We was in Vegas at a dog show, and somebody says, hey, Trev, this is James. What's that dude's name? Either way it goes, but it's King James who says it. I said, hey, they said you run this show, huh? And he's like, yeah. I said, come downstairs real quick. And he came and did our podcast when we was in Vegas, and it was his show. He showed up in a trench coat.
That's awesome.
He was coaching a basketball team, and he didn't have to be there. And it was like his 15th one. Oh, you run this? Right this way. And he don't know me from Adam. Like I said, I don't even know the nigga name right now. But point is, you talked to me a little bit about the American bully. You've rescued dogs. Look, for one, let me say this off top. We would definitely have to have her back. They're not pressed for time, but we've got a schedule. We went to a rescue, 2-3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was frightening. Let me be clear. And I'm going to tell this and I'm going to let her get her point. I have never really dealt with loss in a way that it affected me, right? And I also don't deal well with not getting my way. So what I'm saying is the last time I remember being uncomfortable in the way I was at that shelter was 13 years old. My papa dies, and I'm being a tough kid. And they say, "Hey, I need you to sing at your papa's funeral." And it's like, "Can you where you want to stand?" I said, "Oh, I'll stand by his casket." I had no emotional control, which goes back to the other episode because I was never emotionally developed, so I didn't even know that I was going to be in pain because I'm trying to be so tough, right? I stood next to the thing, got about 3 words, and I'm bawling. Mm-hmm. And so I'm all these things are going through my head while I'm at this shelter. And she's like, yo, this dog gets put down 11 o'clock on Thursday morning.
Are you serious?
Oh, dead ass. And she just commented on a video Money posted the other day. Jamarcus, better best dog. And she said 96 dogs were brought in the other day. And I did a post where I said, guys, I'm not inspired to breed. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm getting more and more worried. And a good portion of the breed were Spits, aka your Siberian Huskies and wolf type breeds, and then your bullies. Mm-hmm. And she made a statement, and respect to her. She's a white woman, and I've said this before. She said nobody likes these dogs, the pit bulls, right? Nobody. And you think, well, she was telling the truth, right. And somebody does, but they are hard to handle. So my point is saying all that is, you guys rescued a dog. Talk a little bit about that process, why you would do it. I said I could never do it. And let me be clear, people. I'm going to be honest. I'm never going to do it. But what I will do is if we can build this business to do quite a few $1 billion, I will build a place and write it off so that those dogs can go and live the life. Some people say, you got to save them all. You want me to save them? Let me build a business that could change the world. And then if idiots who buy dogs impulsively are uneducated, I will pay the people more than they're worth to make sure these dogs get to live out their end days. That's a business move. And Mr. Beast, the irony is, the day after we leave, Jamarcus sends me some shit where Mr. Beast gets with Dave Bautista and they try to get some dogs. You go, I just said that's what we was going to do. I'm tight now because he did it. But that's what money does, people.
I feel like we're 200 acres away.
Say less. Trust
200
me.
acres away.
And mind you, get this. You don't know this, but I've already told Stan and others that are with me. I said, guys, I'm going to buy a shit ton of acres when this is like soon. And everybody's going to move to the land. Just so we're clear. I said that's going to simplify our lives because we can change the world if we're all collective.
Can we toast up the band's best friend on that shit? Because like we're all aligned. We're going to get off the grid, create our own shit.
Yeah.
Homestead.
We're going to be butt naked baying in the moon.
Hey, you asked Stan. Stan has 5 acres. He lives in Clearborn, Texas. But I said, to be clear, for us to achieve what I think we need to achieve, we got to house each other in the same. We got to walk out and wake up with the right mentality. And until we get, $100 billion of revenue so we can sell it for a bill, I said, we've got to be at it every day, but we need to be in the same place. Yep. And sometimes that's difficult for people to fathom, especially black people. I don't get along with them well. So I'm like, I can't live with that many people. But you go, all of us aligned with no ego.
We don't
and the
have
dogs.
to if I got 10 acres in between.
And mind you, that's the beauty about it. And the intent, though, let's say the intent. Stan's got an intent to take care of the dogs. Y'all know my intent. And I'm only here for the dogs. And then I've watched these 2 people who I'm realistically meeting for the first time. Like we've seen Q at the gym. He's been super kind and respectful to us. We've enjoyed his presence and his energy whenever I've gotten a chance to shake his hand and say hello. And I'm forever grateful that he found the time to come over and meeting his wife, refreshing as well. Because you go, golly, that's what a supporter, and as he said, he's her husband. That's what support looks like, to be able to be free and candid and have fun and not have to worry about what comes out of your mouth and love dogs. Man, say them the only kind of people I want to be around. A dog will tell you the truth about a person. I'll tell you that. That's the only motherfucker I trust. It's like, hey, ego don't really growl. If he growled at you, you gotta go, buddy. I'll never want to see you again. He's got a very good judge of character. If he's fussing, because you could ask Maul, that nigga don't make no noise. That nigga don't bark or nothing. If he made a noise and you walked down, I say, look, he's got a better sense of
that's impressive, right?
Than me. So if he's not good on you, I ain't gonna risk it. I don't need you no way. But talk a little bit about what it means, like your journey in rescuing a dog, why you did it, and then being a dog trainer and housing dogs and trying to help the breed and dogs in general. What are some things you guys kind of both have learned walking down that road? Because it's to me, it's scared the shit out of me. I got to be honest with you, and I'm not a scary person.
Yeah, I think I have to start at the beginning. Like falling in love with the bully breed is, I'm a misfit. I'm a mixed person. Yeah. I'm black and white. You see another misfit. It's, an unlovable, misunderstood thing, and you just gravitate to it. And I didn't know what they were. My brother just brought one home. My mom didn't. She was like, why is this dog here? I don't want this dog here. Now this woman's walking them at shelters and stuff like that. So they have a way of like burrowing into your heart in such a way and like connecting to you spiritually. And I've been around every single dog breed, and that is one of the only ones that has that intense connection. So I was sold day one on my brother's dog, and I was like, I need this dog in my life every day. Yeah. So I'm now on, including his dog and ones I work with, my 4th bully breed. And there will always be one. I'll probably have another, breed at some point, but there'll always be one. I saw just a big problem. Like I grew up outside of DC. I lived in Maryland. They're illegal in PG County, but there's the most of them in PG County. I got my first pit in PG County. Oh, wow. So you see like the correlation between poverty, black people, and the pit bull, and they're both treated the same. So you're crossing into a lot of overlap. And to
that's my baby, y'all seen it.
And to not like acknowledge that intersectionality between the two is missing a big point. They're put at this level, black people put at this level, and it's the same. And I think that's why, as a race, like minorities love bullies, because it is that misfit mentality. But I could go on that all day. We'll circle back to that.
No, look, I got to debate you on that, because I also, it's kind of like a person who's, A rich person said this. He said, when a real wealthy person drives past Lamborghini, he doesn't think about getting a Lamborghini. He thinks, how can he own the lot or own all of Lamborghini, right? So in this case, unfortunately, African Americans all the time are very prideful. And so when they get this dog, I've been in homes where people have golden retrievers, right? Nobody's like, man, look at my golden retriever. That dog represents something that's lacking in them at times. And I get the messages, man. Hey, what do you think of my dog? And I have to tell everyone this. So if you ever message me, it's kind of like the girls that do dick ratings. It's like some of you are like, bro, tell me what you think of my dog. I'm like, my man, it's your dog. You got to take care of it. It is not my place, as I'm a judge and a sanctioned judge and no registry, to judge your dog. If you need help with training, potentially nutrition, that's where I can add value.
That's fair.
But I'm not the person to tell you you've got, look at this dog with this muscle, because if I get a golden retriever, nobody's going to care. If I get a fucking corgi, a beagle, no one's going to care. If I get a goddamn German shepherd, nobody's going to care.
It's almost like buying that gold chain that shows
That's
what you got.
And mind
it's
you,
your dog.
that's the scary part when it comes to the pit bull, because you're in this perverse environment. And the only thing you have to show for is a dog who can attack and hurt somebody based on, like, man, I want him to head it. I want him to be tough. It's like, you guys got to remove that thing, because I repeat, I don't want to be tough. I want to be smart, but that's just me.
I think, though, kind of what both of you are saying, too. Like,
And
right? So it's a status symbol.
Oh, for sure.
And just like having, living in an apartment and having a Bugatti, outside that you've leased.
Hey, my nigga, I'll tell you, like, yo, this nigga got a AMG, but he in a fucking 2-bedroom with an air mattress.
Bro, with a chameleon paint job.
Hey.
But like then you have this dog that symbolizes this strong and all. I think kind of what Kendra's saying in that socioeconomic situation, you've got this symbol of everything that you're not, and what you're lacking. And then you realize this is a being that has a responsibility because they're powerful. Kind of to what you're saying, it's like, I think that's deep. Nobody would care
Spider-Man
if
line,
you
right?
had with great power.
But they would care. Look, because keep in mind, people, there's a Springer Spaniel that could get on a tug and do some amazing things that, again, a bully can do. And mind you, I'm the person that's like, look, they think the pit bull and American bully is a dog. Let me go find 5 more dogs. The General, Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, man.
A dog, bro.
Jack
wanna,
Russell's ain't no joke.
You want to know who's worse than a bully or a pit bull? They say that it's a saying. They said the only reason why the pit bull gets a rap is because the Jack Russell didn't get any bigger.
or a Chihuahua.
Oh my God, bro! You like these are terrorists.
Chihuahuas are no joke.
They're high intense. They're high intense. But go ahead. So you see this bully, and I'm with her 100%. People, the dog in itself, it is near and dear to your heart, and I think part of it is because of its power. Like ego jump on you. I mean, Jamal could tell you, Tron popped his finger out of place, broke his hand basically.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you seen when I was coming to the gym, my shit was wrapped up.
But he goes.
I was on that man's best friend too, though.
There's a lot to the story, which we'll unpack as this beverage gets below the ice cube.
This nigga's finger turned into an L.
And
But I felt
like,
the force, though. I felt the force, yeah.
But she's absolutely right, because there's so many components,
Somebody
right?
pop this thing, son.
Which go back to the trauma we're dealing with. So you clearly, we talked a little bit off camera, but you're not inspired by needing to feed your ego, but more so actually the care and love the dog provided for you, right?
I would say they've been an emotional support animal for me without them really trying. But going back to what you're saying about rescue, it's not people like yourself that, all your dogs, their temperament, their how they look, how they interact, like their intelligence, good breeders are great, because some people aren't ready to rehabilitate a dog. And owning a dog run company, all I got was the mutts from people that were just backyard breeding. And then people are picking up these animals with the best intent, but they don't have the skills to deal with bad genetics. They're calling them, my little house hippos, which I call my boy a house hippo, but he's a powerful animal that can do some damage. And if I don't acknowledge his breed traits and things that he's capable of, and I don't set him up for success, I'm contributing to the problem of them getting banned. So when you're adopting these dogs, you need to be ready to pay for training. You need to be ready to commit your hours of your day to exposure to people, and then also accept
God,
where they're at. Like if they don't have the ability to be friendly with other dogs or other people, don't put them in situations that they can't handle because you're just.
But no, harp
Yeah.
on that coming from a dog because people say, "Man, my dog won't get along." I said, "Look, nigga, there's a lot of niggas I don't like. I basically don't like anybody." So in your mind, you think, "Oh, my dog's supposed to like everybody." I'm like,
Yes.
"That ain't this breed."
Exactly.
That's not true.
I'm like, "Yo,
That's
I
not
don't
any
like
breed,
everybody."
yeah.
That's not even realistic, right? So what do you do for somebody who's like, "Hey, my dog doesn't get along with this dog"? I'm like, "Okay, what do you want me to do about it?"
We can. I mean, there's. I had one dog that was dog selective, and he was my husband's dog when we met, best friend. It had to be the right environment. So there is a right environment, but just like what you said, I don't like everybody. Everybody doesn't like me
At all.
But we like each other. So
Yeah.
I got one friend. So maybe your dog can have one friend, two friends, but they don't
that's
need
a
to get
win,
along with
right?
everybody.
Yeah.
And you're not being a good advocate for your dog if you're allowing dogs, people, everything in their space without creating a barrier and without protecting them in that way. So you're feeding that problem. Like you need to be making those decisions for the dog and then ultimately teaching the dog to make the right decisions as well. But you're the leader. So the more you let somebody into that dog's space all the time, that's where the reactivity comes. They don't need that. Maybe they don't want that. My dog loves everybody. He still doesn't meet people until I say he can meet them.
Hey.
Because now the value is outside of me. I'm supposed to be the value. We're supposed to be the
Oh
value.
my! Listen, people. Look, I'm telling you again. I'm repeat. We got to do some more. I've not been in enough rooms where I'm inspired at times. But I told Jamarcus a second ago, I said I was right, and it's about bringing in Q, and then Q bringing his wife, and then just you guys have heard me say people, places, and things. If you want a dog to be calm, cool, and collected, he's got to be introduced to these things. But you got to be the most interesting thing. She's speaking my language because people always say, "How'd you get 5 dogs on a rope and nobody broke into a fight?" We manage behavior and we go through an extensive 2-year process in making sure that they can coexist. Because in this house, meaning my dog specifically, they've got to get along. I can't have that. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to. And because if I say something, they need to listen. And mind you, I told you our dogs don't listen that well, but they listen to me. Enough to make sure that we're good, son.
Yeah.
But my God, you're hitting some nails on the head. And I almost hate that we can't do 5 more with you today.
I can come back.
Yeah, hey, look, no, and I'm dead ass when someone's speaking this clear by way of experience. And I can't say this enough, people. I was sick looking at the shelter. I'm not a person who feels guilt. If I did something, if I stepped on your toe, I did it on purpose. But when you see the shit that we saw and the sadness,
Oh my God.
oh man,
When you become a
You
dog
can feel,
person,
you can feel the
Yeah.
dogs crying.
oh,
the
you could feel, and it
difference.
didn't. I tell you this. I was on live one time,
God.
and someone said something. I said, "Man, the day Eagle can't run or jump or hop or skip anymore," and it like brought tears to my eyes. I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm tripping. What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But just the fact that this dog, my goal is to enrich his life so much so he can live. Yesterday, for instance, I gave him 45 minutes on a rope. That motherfucker was on that goddamn rope by himself. There's no dogs around, and he's just like pulling on this thing. If you go over to this area at the school, he tilled the whole ground because he was yanking on that thing for 45 minutes.
Having the time of his life.
And then fast forward, you walk in the room right now, he's asleep on a pillow with his balls in his hair.
Yeah.
And you go, the day this dog can no longer live the life he wants to live, that's not a good feeling, right?
Yeah.
But that's because of everything we did. I installed these programs with time, energy, effort, things I tell people you need, because I want the best for him, right?
I think that's super interesting, bro. Like, cause I'm from Bama, where I was. The dogs sleep outside, and the dogs do dog stuff, and we do stuff inside. And I got my dog from a breeder. So Ziggy is an English Bull Terrier. And I was the kind of guy I was like,
keyword English, people. That means it was properly bred.
Dude, she is. I'm talking from pedigree. Like, I got her fixed immediately because at the time I was traveling, I was overseas.
Yeah.
And it just was something that I wasn't ready to navigate. And that bitch taught me a lot. I'm so glad I got it done. I couldn't imagine if she could get pregnant. But I had an English Bull Terrier, and I purchased the dog because I wanted something different. I was always about, I don't want to fit the mold. I'm an alien. I want an alien. I did my research on the dog.
I think he is alien too. Keep going.
I'm black alien.
Black alien.
Yeah, black alien. But I did my research and I looked up all the videos and nothing would prepare me for her. But Ziggy
Nothing.
is different because an English Bull Terrier is the sweetest animal. However, that animal will follow the beat of their own drum. There's nothing that you can do.
So key word though is animals. So I saw something the other day when I was posting something. People said, man, I wonder why those dogs are in cages. Guys, there's a 2-year process to make sure that the dogs can coexist in this home.
Mm-hmm.
And what people don't understand is for 18 years of a child's life, you're trying to find things that motivate your kid, inspire your kid, encourage your kid. And people think, again, they remove the animal. It's a dog. A dog is an animal. Tron, we leave him in the room. He fucking chews up my goddamn shit. They're curious people. We have dogs that can do work. What that means is they're inquisitive. You know what an inquisitive mind does? It gets destructive when it's not stimulated.
Bro.
So when you look up English Bull Terrier or Ego's chilling there right now because he got 45 minutes yesterday. And I've told everybody there's a 72-hour rule. If in 72 hours this dog does not get out and do something,
he's going to tear your shit up.
He's going to start getting real curious. Hey, well, but buddy, look.
That's how we lost 2 remotes, man.
There's a lot of pain on your face when you said it.
Yeah. And fast forward, I'm not selling. I tell you, my dogs ain't family dogs, people. If your family is equipped to deal with a dog, so be it. But we're breeding dogs that I want to take them out and go hog hunting. I want to take them out and get a little active per se.
They're working dogs.
And to work, the Bible says you don't work, you don't eat. So when you look up, you go, I want them to be motivated. And mind you, you American bully people, oh man, they're too skinny, they're too this. They be like, my man, you do know that, and in both of you, bodybuilders are falling off, right? When you add more muscle, you create more restrictions. And when you have more restrictions, it's more energy output. Guess what? The only thing you have in life to measure your life is energy. And if you run out of energy, your heart stops. You don't think of it that simple, but the guy said it too. When you add testosterone at 45, you put a fucking V8 and a fucking V4. You go, my man, you just doubled down on steroids and the juice. The body can't support that after 40, 50. And so what happens? Nigga have a heart attack.
Random. Looking as good as they want, but...
Check out.
Yeah.
Because the body can't, at some point, ashes to ashes, you got to break down. So what would be then your advice, if you don't mind, when picking a dog, how do you pick a dog that's good for you? Because you know that the American Bully, Pit Bull breeds, they're commonly dropped off because people say, oh, wow, I didn't know that this dog needed this much time and energy. What would you tell people? Because, you've clearly dealt with the behavioral stuff and all the shit that, it's fucking annoying. Godly. I just let them read the message. Niggas like, yo, bro, this dog peeing all over my foot, but I'm about to drop him off at the pound. Because he peed? A fucking baby pees on itself to about 7 years old, damn near. Think about that. You got to change a diaper for at least 3 years, depending on what's going on.
And if you're adult, you're a little bit too leaned out. You might pee too.
That's so you go, some of y'all want this nigga to be straight overnight.
Just me? All right.
When it's a journey, but what would be from, being a dog trainer and the person who fancies dogs and fell in love with American Bully and many other breeds, to say the least, it's clearly you're aware of the ban that's taking place. What would you advise people to do in preparing their home, for an American Bully?
I think for any breed, you need to figure out your lifestyle. Are you active? Are you able to set boundaries? Do you have kids in the house? What does your neighborhood look like? What stuff do you like to do? Figure out who you are first, and then figure out, do I want a dog I can run with? Do I want a dog I can take to a restaurant or a bar? Do I want a dog that's good with children? And start going through and reading the breed descriptions. Now, with that said, if you are really into rescue, which is great, you really need to spend some time looking at the temperament, because you're going to get a mix of temperaments.
Yep.
When you have a mix of breeds in one, which is most of the dogs that are in there. So I suggest if you can work with a rescue who has been in a foster house for a little bit, or a foster family, so that they've had 3 or 4 months to be with the dog and be like, listen, this dog is this way, this way, this way. And then really spend some time walking. If you can volunteer and walk the dog a few times, lots of shelters need people to walk the dogs all the time. Take that dog out for a walk, see how it's interacting with the world. Is it skittish? Is it ignoring you? Is it lunging at things? Does it have a prey drive? Take your time so that dog can fit. And then it always goes temperament, then breed. So figure out those two things, and if they align with your life, and if they don't, it may not be the right breed for you. Like Ziggy, I was like, he has a bull
not
terrier.
the right breed for me.
I was like, you must have a lot of patience. You have all of this.
Nope.
Her temperament is
developing
so
patience.
she's getting better, but she's a tough temperament for us sometimes. But we love her. We work with her. But
She
overall, she's a
sucks.
great job. She's a great dog.
She's a great dog.
Yeah.
And she
I think so.
sucks.
So
But-
the word you use though, people are going to overlook it as volunteer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you say, "Hey, what can I learn?" Don't learn because you bought something and you weren't ready to deal with that
Exactly.
responsibility.
Don't be me.
And if you don't know dogs, guys, I've been at this dog thing since I was a kid. The only book I would take out of the Mid-Cotton Library was a dog encyclopedia. I was obsessed with this shit when I was a kid. So when I looked at the end, I said, I know what to do. and but volunteer. Kanye West did it, and he created a couple custom versions of Louis Vuitton. And this is when he was Kanye West, to be clear. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a nobody. No, it was like, let me go volunteer or intern, which is volunteering at Louis Vuitton, and learn about design and what they're doing so I could create my own ideas. And we know that Yeezy is probably one of the biggest shoe brands in the world. That's the truth. Whether you like him or not,
Right.
it's the facts. But the thing, a man who was the man,
Right.
based on how you look at it, was doing exposure and volunteering. So when she says that, I tell people there's in Texas called Health Wildcatters as an incubator for health related businesses. First thing I actually do is I'll go and find areas where I can just sit back, put a name tag on, hand out cups, and just volunteer. Because getting in that room, I know if I get in a room, I know what to do. So I'm gonna act like I'm a nobody because once I get the information, I know how to apply it. So volunteering, I love you use that word. I don't want people to overlook it because fostering, get this, I think the woman said it was 300 dogs being fostered at the Dallas intake, and they had 300 plus on site, 800 dogs total. And the fostering means they're holding on to these dogs as a last resort before they have to bring them in, and the city pays to get them put down. That's scary because once someone says, hey, we can't foster this dog anymore, it's going to hell. And I mean, all dogs go to heaven, but I mean, like, yo, imagine a dog coming in and it's like, I saw that poor dog. I go, fuck. And mind you, I got to be very clear. Sad as I was, it inspired me to double down and really focus on the business. Absolutely. Because if I'm capable, I don't need much. I said I built my pages off of flip-flops and mismatched socks. I'm never going to go buy a Gucci suit. Matter of fact, I might buy everybody Gucci shirt this week, see if the dogs are teared up. Like, let's see how strong Gucci really is. Put Ego on my back while he's digging in with that motherfucker trying to get this rope. I'm gonna see what Lambo do if I get the dogs get in there and terrorize that motherfucking car. I have no interest personally in these things that seem advantageous to feed my pride and ego. But the volunteer word is such a word that's underused because we think we're supposed to have it already, right?
That's one of the biggest things I learned from her.
Yeah.
Like when I got Ziggy, I was thinking of, it's an English Bull Terrier. So the first thing you think of
firecrackers.
is next Friday.
Chico.
The target
Chico.
dog.
Hey, Holmes.
Like, hey, you fucker. Like,
Yeah.
like I got Ziggy because she was the only, like, I was looking for the thing. And then when I got the thing, it wasn't what I expected. And it wasn't until I met Kendra. Like, and mind you, my dog has been exposed to a lot. Like, she traveled with me to New York, and she lived in the city. She's been on a subway. She's ridden a book bag over the bridge in Brooklyn. Ziggy's she's a fucking gangster. Like, she can go for a road trip. She went to Cali with me in a U-Haul and loved that.
Shit.
Like, this is a ride or die bitch.
Man, I love hearing this though too because people don't know how far some of us would take our dogs. Like, where'd you take your dogs?
Dude, she saved my life. When I was about done, I was driving home from a terrible divorce and it was raining and I was going 90 in the Challenger and I was like, yep, all I got to do is yap, and I'm out.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and I looked at her and she was like, don't do it. And I was like, she doesn't deserve that. So that's why I haven't given her up yet.
Yeah.
Because Ziggy has tried me. But like, I say this to say, like, I'm an Alabama guy. Your dog sleeps outside, dogs this and that. And then when I met Kendra, she had a pitty named Bear. And this dog like burrowed into me while I was like mid-depression. I'm like, get this dog off the couch. You got dogs on the couch in your bed. And I still don't mess with that because I got allergies. However, But like being around someone that had a balanced animal that actually became a family member that actually coached me, gave me some perspective on how it's not just a dog. This is an entity and a being that I have to evolve with. I can't just beat the dog to make them do what they want to do. I have to learn the dog and coach the dog and actually grow and create a relationship. And what she's saying, you know, with the adoption side, like she bred her dog accidentally, but she did.
No, I did intentionally.
Intentionally?
That was before I really knew what the problem was. I was really young. I was like 20 something, and I had a Bear's
she
mom.
Had some man's best friend that night too.
And I had
so you was in it
Bear's
for real,
mom,
for real,
Naya,
yeah.
and I loved her, and I just wanted more. So half my family took the puppies.
Oh, wow.
But then I was like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore on this side. I want to be a part on the other side. That doesn't mean now, like I said, I love what you do. You have great dogs. And some people need to know what they're getting. They need to know exactly what they're getting temperament-wise, confidence-wise, whatever they're getting in a dog. I think that's very important for people to succeed.
You're a rarity.
Yeah.
Hey, well, that's why I knew we'd be successful because, you know, people, you know, Jamarcus got a litter coming up and his first breeding was supposed to be with a dog named Bam Bam, my cat. People have loved Bam Bam and they comment, man, where's Bam Bam? Bam Bam is a dog that I should have put down. And I won't be able to ever tell the story because the people he with, I'm not going to say what happened. I don't want them to be exposed, but I will tell you this, I was right. And the gist of it is just very simply put, what you fail to realize is Gary Vee said it the other day. Some of y'all live in I gotta be right. And I don't. Bam Bam didn't work out. He didn't work out. Chris Moore in a video said I wouldn't use this dog. And trust me, he was right. and he's been right. When we're trying to better something, we have to remove the shit that should not exist, and we don't want to double down on it because, as he said, for those people say, hey, what about line breeding, inbreeding? Double the bad, double the good. Now, in this case, character-wise, we would be doubling down on the bad. And I just, you know, if I ever got a call because some family's child got chewed up or such and such, I said I don't feel good, I would feel bad. But I fucking knew better, right? And I can't let my pride and ego get in the way because I'm like, the world needs more Bam Bams. No, it fucking doesn't. Don't nobody need another goddamn Bam Bam. or Tron. People love Tron. Tron's not a bad dog, but he's not a dog I would reproduce, to be clear.
But kind of to what she's saying, like, so I've had the breeder experience.
Yeah.
And I've had the, like Kendra raised her dogs from 0 up to 14 years he got.
13,
About 13 years. And then I've had the adoption side of things. Like what you guys are doing here with Fitbull is completely different than my experience. Now, I will say my breeder was phenomenal in terms of the care of the dogs and the dogs getting their shots and being like, you know, ready to be housed.
Yeah.
But I got Ziggy at 5 weeks.
Oh, no, that's too early.
Yeah. Like, so she was
no
still
dog leaves my
on
house to 8 weeks.
Soft food, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, she
Like,
was on mush.
She was, and she was the run of the litter, beautiful dog, but like she had no social skills.
Yeah.
And I had no skills as an adopted parent.
Yeah, pet parent.
And so I brought her into what I thought life would be. And Ziggy's in it, like the English Bull Terrier. The reason they choose not to listen is because they're so intelligent.
Yeah.
Well, they're so all your terriers, and I tell people this all the time. You have a pit bull type breed, you are managing that dog. You're not telling them what to do.
Bruh.
They were dropped in the pit to survive. Think about that. Epigenetically speaking, we're dropping a dog in a pit with the bull. And its job is to survive. So it's like that sit down lay. If you can get a dog Schitzlin or PSA level 1 as a pit bull, you did something because they were not designed to do those things. They were bred to think outside of the box and survive.
Exactly.
So if you know, my guy here, Q, buys a dog and don't know, like, yo, you know, this dog might not ever listen well.
Nope.
You know, the best thing you could do for it is have a good recall. So before it kills something, you know,
I'll give you your flowers, Trev. I'll give you your flowers, man, because I know to you that Bam Bam situation was like, shit, nigga, I've been down this road before. I see where this is going, right?
Yeah.
But the ugly side about being an influencer without you trying to be one, because you're just giving them education,
period,
is that people get like really engulfed in the lifestyle of what's going on. And
gotta do this now. They saw
you know what I'm
Bam
saying?
Bam. I gotta
trying to
make it a
dude,
thing.
They're trying to tell a dude what he should do. His dog's been doing dogs for 15, however many years. You know
Over
what I'm saying?
15 years, literally.
Think about how many breeds, and your lifestyle, what you're doing with your program, and from what I've seen with Bam Bam, you know what I mean? He was like a fucking terror. Yeah. He looked good though.
He's a beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he was a beautiful dog.
He's a good looking dog. That's the truth. Puppy. He's a good looking dog, but that mask, they love him. But
oh my God, he didn't like anything. Like shit, Micah would go in the garage and he would just like Cha-Cha would bark, but Cha-Cha just like she's at that point right now where she just wants to get more active.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So it's more like awareness bark, but like that. I'd rather the awareness bark than like I don't know, I'm scared bark.
I'm about to turn.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but so Maul knows my kid Jack. Guys, I raised a few kids, man, and white kids, black kids, Mexican kids. When I built T-Fit in Kansas City, Jack walked outside and Jack literally held Bam Bam when he was born. I kid you not, when he was born. I have the picture still. When Bam Bam went outside and growled and barked at Jack, I said, "Oh, this is it." You know, Jack is it. You never, if nothing will ever. I would never let for one. We're here. I tell people we got an 8-year-old in the house. I'm not a big kid person, but I'm never gonna let nothing happen to Micah point blank. You'd have to kill me if you ever came in here and Maul wasn't here and Micah was here. And I'm never gonna let a dog in the home that's not gonna be safe for the house. And once I saw that, I said, "Oh, this is it, bro. My kid's not safe," and he's 24 years old, plays overseas. But when I saw that, I said, I don't want to double down on those genetics. Yeah. We look at genetics as big head and eye separation and, you know, rear and shoulders and feet and all this. I look at it who the dog is as a person, because a good family 9 out of 10 times is going to take my dog on. And when the family doesn't feel safe, that dog comes back to me.
You gotta respect that though. It's like, well, he didn't agree with putting it in the shelter because he knows the characteristics of the dog.
He going down anywhere in the shelter.
That takes, like you were saying, that takes someone that's going to dedicate themselves to build.
And I did the video. I said, guys, we've got two options. If you're a very well trained dog person, you could take Bam. Otherwise, he's not going emotional. I'm putting him down. They're like, I can't believe you put him down.
Yeah, not one of those.
Best thing I could do for him. You're not understanding.
So on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm so glad that y'all shared that, because this is where I got to give Kendra her flowers, because we have Robert Nesta Marley, this big 85-pound blue pit with a fucking head that's large, and he's on a military base in the north side of San Diego. Like, so you can't have pits on the base. It's Camp Pendleton, right?
Yeah.
Like, they will bounce you. And he was one of those dogs that we assume, we don't know. He was left at a truck stop or a bus stop.
That's what they said, but I think somebody just got caught.
Yeah, what happened
someone
is
paid a lot of money for him.
That fucker's huge.
Yeah,
and
he's like, this nigga didn't come from no goddamn shelter, nigga.
This fucker's beautiful, like breedable, and he's just like head, and now we know he's a nice dog, but like so. But everybody saw him and was intimidating, so they put him in Camp Pendleton, and he's an intelligent dog that we found out now. But mind you, like on Camp Pendleton, they've got like Black Hawk choppers, people shooting, a lot of shit going on, and he's outside, and someone smuggled him on campus and kept him in the room, and then he was put in a kennel with multiple dogs. And so all of the Marines on base were afraid of him, so they couldn't get him housed. And Kendra, with her dog experience and what she's been through, we went up there and we saw the dog immediately, and she spotted like this diamond in the rough. And with her experience, like he was like weeks away from being euthanized.
Oh man.
And now we've got this phenomenal companion. Like, and I think that it's important that we all talk about the different conversations with dogs. Like, you can breed a dog and know that this dog, even though I bred him in this environment, he's just not built for this life. Yeah. He was built to fight, and that's what he's good at.
Hey, that's who he is, man.
But for her to see this big ass dog that everyone's afraid of and be like, no, he's not built that way, and all he needs is balance.
Yep.
And with Kendra teaching me with Ziggy, who's a dog I got from a breeder, that I wouldn't do again, but I would get a dog from your kennel because they got the skills, and you guys look at it differently. I think it's important that as a listener who is advocating to share space with another being, that there's multiple ways to get it right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And a ton of ways to get it wrong.
The perfect environment can still get it, quote unquote, wrong.
Absolutely.
But it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the being.
Well, yeah, I think like when we went up there, I wasn't listening to what they were telling me because I was like, I can tell you guys don't have experience with this breed.
And off the pictures,
I can
right?
tell off the pictures how you're walking him, with the interactions. And I was like, I want to see what he does when he comes out of that kennel. Does he rush the fence? Does he like start growling? Is he going after people? Is he? And even if he was, that wouldn't be enough for me because he's been caged his whole life. So he's too intelligent. So I'm like, that wouldn't be enough for me to turn him down. But this big goofy dude walked out like all floppy and then put his nose against the cage and started being like, hey. And then they were like, oh, like, yeah, he's really sweet, but he like jumps on people and he bites. I was like, what do you mean like he bites? He was like,
if he was gonna bitch on y'all would have been put the nigga down already.
He's like, exactly. He would jump and hold people when they left and pull on their shirts. He didn't like
being left. And
he
had a nibble pibble.
Yeah. So he like, when we got out.
Yeah, mouths are like that too. Communicate with their mouth.
He nibbled when he was frustrated.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we got there, like we brought our dog, my Ziggy, and mind you, we had to put down our old boy who was the groundskeeper in our house.
Hey, that's like, a big thing too, people.
Our old boy, Bear, shout out to Bear, Rip. That motherfucker, he got me from a dog owner to a dog person. And he also held baby girl down. Bear was a gangster.
He knew how to walk the yard.
Bruh, Bear had street cred. He was ready to go, and he could chill. He was that dude. He's the best dog I've ever been around. Yeah. And he trained my dog and trained me. So we came from putting him down, and I recognized in my family that we had a gap missing because we were so comfortable with him. And Zig's my dog Ziggy, she's a beta. She's not an alpha. And she also wants somebody to just give her what to do. And I know my wife, Ziggy's too easy because she's seen everything. So she's freaking out and everybody's depressed. And I'm like, fuck, we need a dog.
Yeah.
So I look up online and I see these two dogs and I'm like, Bob, this big fucking blue asshole has this toy in his mouth. I'm like, that's the motherfucker. Yeah. So we take our dog. And it took us an hour and a half to drive, and then we had to get someone that was a Marine to take us on base to find the dog, and then we go to the kennel that's on base. It's not designed. These are dogs that have been surrendered or dogs have been acquiesced, they have to be taken or acquired. And so we had all of that. Like, so this isn't just the easy, let's show up, grab the dog, take him home. And we chose to foster. And immediately, like, we get to this place and there's dogs barking. There's a Malamon mix jumping on top of his shit. And then we run and they're like, y'all be careful because he's a crazy dog. This dog runs to the fence, stops, and all you see is this little tail wag. And I was like, oh, shit.
That kind of stuff drives me crazy because when people don't understand play arch and all the stuff that goes into assessing situation. I've been bit in the middle of shooting dogs, as far as like recording videos. I don't flinch or fret because I've been bit from where I come from so many times. Like, I survived, nigga. Yeah. But like a dog like that, you like, man, this nigga's a pussy.
Yep. That's and she saw him immediately. She was like,
well, I was looking for a certain temperament. Back to that conversation, I was like, if we go here and I don't have the same life as I had to have the space to have them walking with all these dogs. Like, my specialty was pack walking, and I'd pack walk like 5 pits, and I'd have like 2 little Maltipoos. Oh, and that was like my specialty. And who do you think was running the show, though? The Maltipoos?
Of course, them little fuckers, man. The general runs a house.
Exactly. Asshole, so I was looking for like a very specific temperament because I was like, I don't have the space to deal with a reactive dog. I would love to mentally right now where we were in our journey of healing and stuff we were talking about with his mom.
Yeah, everything.
Like everything. I was like, I don't have the space for that. And like my heart was broken from my boy I had from 13 years. So I was like, I need a specific temperament. If this dog walks out and he has a temperament, then we'll take him home. He already knew I was about to foster feral, but if he comes home and he fits into our life.
Foster failure.
Yeah.
We failed.
We failed within 24 hours.
We get there. And this big dog runs out, and everybody, all these Marines, and these are Marines, men and women. Yeah. These are the baddest of the bad. They're like, hey, be careful going in. I was like, man, let me get into this dog. We walked him, and he was terrible on leash, but like he wasn't aggressive. He was just frustrated. Yeah. Finding out now, he's an extremely intelligent dog, an extremely curious dog. So if you take an extremely intelligent and curious dog and put them in a controlled environment, they're gonna start freaking the fuck out.
Oh yeah, it's a new world to them every time we take them out.
And they want to know like, what is a helicopter? Like I lit a lighter in front of the dog. He was like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck was that?" and I sat down and I was like, "Bob, do you want to know what a lighter is?" And I flicked it, and he's like, "I was like, this is fire." And he soaked it up, and he legit understood it. It was impressive. So we get to this place, and I go into the enclosure with him, and I don't interact. I just watch him, and I watch him do what he does, and he frog dogs out, and he does this, and my dog is in there, and he's like trying to reach out to her, and Ziggy's like, "Fuck you, I ain't here for this shit. I ain't come to be nobody's big sister." And then when they leave and I leave, and Kendra's there, he does what he does, which is he jumps on and he goes for fabric. And so I grabbed that motherfucker by the tuft of his neck and I sat him down. I was like, "No, get your ass down." And then he was like, "Okay, cool." And all of the Marines was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, they don't understand the dog that needs correction.
He just needed to be corrected.
Needs guidance.
I didn't hurt him. I grabbed him by the tuft of his neck, and I was like, "Nope, this is not what we're doing."
They don't like when I use the word aggressive breed. So you get an aggressive breed. This is not a breed that frets when you pop them. Even I know you're like, "Oh, I would never hit my dog." Let me be very clear. You better grab that joker by his neck.
Yeah, pop them in the nose because they need to know where they're bound. That's how they.
And
I
got a collar on Eagle with a handle for a reason. Because you go, my man, once he cocks in, he's a lunatic. He's a bad situation. But again, you just manage an American Bully or a pit bull.
That man's best friend, best friend. I'll be right back.
Hey, listen, we got that thing is rocking, bro. And when I tell you, it hitting like baseball bats. But Barry Bonds and them was on that mission for what, 700? Not Barry Bonds. Who was it? Mark McGuire and them? Trying to hit 700 of them boys. They was, it's hitting. So, and anywho, what is something like, I know you guys are, this is a good time though. We still got 46 minutes in, and people, I repeat, our intent with this podcast, to be very clear, is to highlight people that we maybe come in contact with that are worth meeting or learning from. I've learned so much from Q.
Oh yeah.
His wife here has made, I mean, she said the same shit you've heard me fucking say if you follow the dog stuff. But this platform we're trying to build, hence Unmotivated, is so much bigger than isolating an idea to a dog, because we all have to continue to grow and connect with others. And so far, this has been a hell of a connection. So let me ask you this, because I don't want to keep you guys, is what keeps you motivated, Kendra?
I think I'm trying to figure that out. We had a lot of changes, and this could be a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But like a lot of stuff that Q mentioned earlier about our healing and business, like my whole life has changed moving here, and I'm trying to figure out who I am without grinding in that way, and who I am, like, in this place, like my life looks different. So I think I'm rediscovering that right now. Right now, the dogs do motivate me.
Yeah,
like they really do. They keep me grounded. Like I'm like, Bob needs work, and while I'm out here working with him, I'm listening to a podcast and I'm thinking about something and I'm building a relationship with him. And then, Q has given me this chance to rest and rediscover what I want, which my passion will always be dogs. My background's in fitness as well. It'll always be that, but I think I'm leaning into what he was talking about. Like there's something here in this room. There's something here with me and him talking about how we've learned to heal together, because I think that's a different journey than alone. You, like he was saying, having a mirror, it's a lot of work. So I think, like right now I'm trying to figure out what that is. Right now if I focus on the dogs and him, it's enough motivation to keep trying to figure out what that next step for me is.
That's huge, people. And the irony is this, I've seen in literally just today's time, their affinity for these pets and these animals, and even our dogs. They don't know our dogs from Adam, but they're like super intrigued. So when I'm looking, I'm an eyeball, right? I sit back and listen to tone and all these little things. I say, man, we've got to figure out how to implement, these people, because let's just say, I don't know Kendra from, we've not had a business conversation, but you say, do we put someone like her over, managing dogs, or do we have her run 1,000 facilities, and the integrity of those facilities, from data collection down to dogs walking in the door, to hiring people, to welcoming dogs, because every time there's things I look at scale and you say foundationally, they both have human skills and they present themselves well. And in the right situation, their lives could change because of my big vision. Because whereas they're still walking down that road, I said, guys, I've been with the guy who built a $500 million company, and precision was everything. So in this case, as I told you, Marcus and Jamal, me being precise is how we get to where we need to go. Me guessing ain't gonna get us nowhere. Me knowing what to do is how this is gonna work. And me being able to pivot and make sense of shit so we can keep growing is key. And then the blessing is, hey, we might have found 2 more people who could make this scale a lot quicker. Because right now, it's Jamarcus and I, and even Jamal, he comes in from an investment standpoint. It still be us doing dogs, and Jamal's the guy who'll get his hands there. He'll show up. Well, he'll do whatever you ask him to do, and vice versa. Mind you, I'm happy. I did it. We've did those. I did it when Jamarcus had no clue what was happening, and it all started, as I said, with one dog. That was Czar.
The only thing y'all couldn't get me to do yet, I'm still thinking about
The bite suit.
The bite suit.
Trust me. Look. I'm like Jamal too. I ain't get bit either.
Runs deep.
I ain't get bit either, nigga.
That man Stan had that little dog on me, and I was like, "Damn, boy!"
Oh, he did, but you did put it on. So you
was on fire.
You put it on though. So
He said, my blackness runs too deep. He's
Hey,
like,
Maul put it on and got chewed up a little
Can't
bit
do
about
it.
whatchamacallit. But guys, for one, I know she said y'all got a soccer game, so we had 3:11. Can't thank you enough for stopping by the house. Definitely glad you got to sit down and see what we had going on a little bit.
real, yeah.
We shake hands and say hello in and out the gym. Now he knows, oh, no wonder they're on that motherfucker every day. Of fucking putting out content. This is way bigger than anyone would presume because there's so much work to do. And if you don't have a 20-year plan, you probably don't have a real goal. And every business, the best of them who were given real funding and opportunity, it took 15 to 20 years for them to be successful. And then they get to go and choose, making high-level decisions with funds to change other people's lives in their own. And we dogs on bones, to say the least. So it's like, we just need to stick to this and be at the right place at the right time. So, guys, thank you so much for your time and energy. Definitely stopping by and saying hello. We figured out what keeps both of them motivated. If everything goes right, I mean, we'll probably get 10, 15 episodes just with them alone.
We got to.
Yeah. And
y'all done fucked up, man. You done fed us once. So.
Hey, look.
Plenty of drinks, plenty of food, everything. Man.
I love that. Even you said you felt comfortable in this space to talk about some of the things you discussed in the other episode. That in itself speaks volume because 9 out of 10 we talked about black men not feeling safe. And I know Maul harbors no judgment. I don't judge at all. I mean, my life has been fucked up since the day I was born. Someone told me once, "Hey, you should be grateful you're alive." I said, "Motherfucker, I didn't ask to be here." Motherfucker, I ain't got the parents that planned for me. These niggas made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then they made 2 more. I said all of us are fucked up. I'm just a person that chose not to dwell on the negative side of how fucked up I could be, and use the odds in my favor to make a choice just to improve my quality of life and others around me. So guys, Unmotivated Podcast, we're here. We got at least 500 episodes we're going to get to. This is going to work. And I can't thank everyone for listening, watching, commenting, downloading, and supporting people. Stay tuned. Keep doing what you're doing. Be encouraged. And as always, thank you for listening.
Take care of your dogs. Take care of your credit.
Boom.
Blessings.